The first stars began to appear in the sky, and the crescent moon shone warmly. Logs crackled pleasantly and soothingly in the campfire. Silence enveloped the forest, and the air was filled with the scent of pine resin. Only a couple of mosquitoes buzzed nearby. From a tent nestled between two tall, thick-trunked trees, a young woman emerged. She carried a small folding knife, which she handed to her companion. Together they had come to the forest for a much-needed escape. He used the knife to cut thin sticks from a nearby tree, which she began threading with mushrooms over the fire. The first batch of mushrooms gave off a delicious aroma, making their mouths water. Earlier that day, she had gathered these mushrooms near their campsite. She was eager to treat her boyfriend, knowing how much he loved mushrooms. She was careful not to overcook or undercook them, frequently turning them to ensure they roasted evenly and retained their natural flavor. Behind her, shadows from the fire danced across the tree trunks, bushes, and ground. Her presence and the serene surroundings brought her boyfriend a profound sense of peace, harmony, and happiness. He decided that he would return to this place again, but next time she would be his wife. Later, they would bring their children here. This little paradise would belong to them alone. Such a place could not be found anywhere else. Smiling, the young woman handed him the first stick of mushrooms. Their taste was incredible, tender and flavorful. These were nothing like the store-bought mushrooms she cooked for him every weekend. Nothing grown in a greenhouse could compare to what nature had provided. After eating every last mushroom, they couldn't let any go to waste. The couple wandered down to the riverbank. The sky was now ablaze with the shimmering lights of countless stars, dancing a waltz with the moon, and the air was cool and damp. His heartbeat, as it seemed to him, broke the silence of the night. The euphoria of being with his beloved in this magical place made it race. The warmth of her hand in his not only warmed him, but seemed to heat the entire planet. She yawned first, and then he followed suit. After their dinner and riverside stroll, sleepiness overtook them both. It was almost midnight. Tomorrow they would have plenty of time to explore, undisturbed by anyone. They doused the embers of the campfire with river water and headed for their tent. Snuggling into his sleeping bag, he wrapped his arms around her, kissed her forehead, and closed his eyes. It felt as if his body was floating, his head spinning in a pleasant haze. Behind his closed eyelids, colors shimmered like oil slicks on water. He had never felt so at peace. He was woken by the sound of the tent zipper being opened, followed by the fading sound of footsteps. He assumed his girlfriend had gone out, perhaps for some personal need. But why hadn't she woken him? Maybe the forest's darkness didn't scare her the way the shadows of their urban apartment did. Time passed and she didn't return. Concerned, he decided to search for her. Perhaps she had gotten lost or something had happened. With reluctance, he lifted his body, which felt inexplicably heavy. Groping for a flashlight, he grabbed it and turned it on. Shining it toward her sleeping spot, he noticed that her flashlight was still there. How could she have gone out without it? The forest was pitch dark. He stepped outside and illuminated the area around him. The ominous forest shadows lurked behind trees, bushes, and leaves, and the silence felt oppressive. Even the moon seemed menacing. A startled bird flew overhead, letting out a loud hoot that sent a shiver down his spine. A sudden gust of wind coming from nowhere creaked the tall pine trunks, rustled the tent's fabric, and threw sand into his eyes. The wind set everything into chaotic, unsettling motion. In the distance, he heard faint crying, which abruptly stopped. Reacting immediately, he ran toward the sound. Branches snapped underfoot, leaves rustled, and twigs scraped his face, leaving scratches, but he ignored the pain. Somewhere out there, in the impenetrable darkness, his beloved was alone, waiting for him to find her. His bouncing flashlight beam caught sight of her silhouette ahead. She was kneeling before a rotting, thick tree trunk. He stopped a few steps away and called her name, but she didn't respond or even flinch. Panting heavily, he approached her slowly, step by step, not wanting to startle her. When he was just 2 steps away, his flashlight began to flicker and then went out completely. In the engulfing darkness, silence swallowed him like a wave crashing over rocks. All he could hear was his ragged breathing. No rustling leaves or cracking branches underfoot. Nothing. Suddenly, he felt a chilling presence behind him, as though someone was staring at the back of his neck. Icy goosebumps crawled down his spine. Then something cold and slimy brushed his neck and wrapped around it. A raspy breath sounded near his ear, freezing his heart in his chest. His knees trembled and terror paralyzed him. He wanted to run, but couldn't. "Have some mushrooms, darling," a voice whispered right by his ear. At that moment, the ground seemed to vanish beneath him. 2 days later, seasoned hikers discovered an abandoned tent in the forest. Inside, wrapped in sleeping bags, lay 2 lifeless bodies, a young man and a young woman. According to the coroner's report, they had likely died from poisoning by toxic hallucinogenic mushrooms that grew near their campsite.